Z released a sneak peek in a Jujutsu Shenanigans Discord that hints at Mahoraga getting a new domain adaptation feature. There's a lot to talk about with it, because of how it could impact his interactions with other characters' awakenings, and also a lot of theorizing on how exactly it'll work, because there's so many different options for how Z adds it in. This video will talk about the sneak and my general thoughts on it, so let's get into the video. My first thought when seeing the whole Mahoraga domain adaptation thing is that it's maybe a bit much depending on how it's added in. Mahoraga already has a ton of stuff after all, though it's not necessarily a reason to not add more, as long as it's minor additions, and not some game-breaking thing that makes Mahoraga even stronger than he already is. Now, I do want to note that Mahoraga can already adapt to Sukuna's domain and reduce the damage, so as long as the adaptation's gimmick is kind of small, it's really just evening the playing field rather than giving him something that doesn't already exist. After all, if Mahoraga can adapt to Sukuna's domain, it's unfair for Sukuna if Gojo and Mahito are free from that limitation. One other thing to keep in mind with Mahoraga being able to adapt to domains is that Sukuna's is, honestly speaking, the one that matters the least if Mahoraga is hit, even if you disregard the adaptation. I say this because Gojo and Mahito's both were able to kill Mahoraga while ignoring his HP pool, whereas Sukuna's domain, which only does HP damage, can sort of be tanked by a small bit by Mahoraga, to the point where there's a noticeable difference in how much he's affected by a Sukuna domain compared to the other two. Gojo's is permastuns Mahoraga, which takes off a chunk from his awakening meter because he's unable to attack to fill it back up, and then he can use one of his moves like Lapis Blue Maximum to keep Mahoraga off his back for however long is needed to run out the ritual bar and kill Mahoraga that way. Mahito, on the other hand, is super obvious. He just fills up the purple meter and Mahoraga explodes. So, if Mahoraga is able to adapt, the domains will probably end up being less like the instant kills of Mahoraga that they are right now, and more in line if Sukuna were helpful, but not a guaranteed win. How this might happen is that the effects will just be heavily reduced. Gojo's domain might slow Mahoraga and increase the startup on his moves, still letting Mahoraga fight back, but making it a very, very hard process. Considering Mahoraga could probably hit other people stunned in the domain to regain meter, he'd also be able to refill his ritual bar and not just get stalled out and die. As for Mahito's, that's way harder to balance out. Make Mahito's transfiguration meter go too slow, and he's completely useless, but if you don't slow it down enough, then nothing really changes with the adaptation. His domain inherently revolves around that meter rather than damage, which makes it hard to balance out by just changing numbers because it's so binary. There's no half dead or quarter dead, it's either you kill them or they survive the domain. It's not that Z couldn't just make the meter go up slower, that might work just fine, but it also runs the risk of making Mahoraga's adaptation make the domain useless, which isn't a good thing, since domains are hard to hit and need to have some kind of high payoff when landed. On that note, we can't rule out the possibility of Z just straight up making Mahoraga's adaptation fully negate a domain expansion, but I don't think that's going to happen because of what I said before about balance and how domains need to still be somewhat rewarding to land. As for how the adaptation works, it could just be that if you use adaptation before getting domained, you gain the adaptation effects, though from the sneak, it looks like you might be able to press it while in the domain to adapt, which seems really simple and maybe a little bit too good. There's way too many ways for Z to take the adaptation for me to accurately hone in on just one. However, if I had to guess at just one, here's my idea. Mahoraga adapts to the domain as time goes by in it. So, at the start of a Gojo domain, he'll still be stunned, but maybe a quarter through it, he'll be freed from stun while still being slowed. Then, halfway through the domain, that slow will be reduced, and so on and so forth, with Mahoraga gradually adapting as it goes on. Same thing for Mahito's domain. At the start, he's vulnerable since he's not adapted, but if Mahoraga survives long enough into the domain, he'll just flat out be able to survive as the meter goes up way slower as Mahito's domain nears its end. That's just my personal take on it, but there's a lot of ways it could go. If you have any of your own theories, predictions, or suggestions on how you think the adaptation to domains will or should work, then leave them in the comments since I'm always excited to see your ideas. Anyways, that's all I have to yap about in this video. If you enjoyed watching, make sure to subscribe for even more Jujutsu Shenanigans content. I'm you eternally, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.